Welcome, this is where nerds come to learn things. If it's your first time here, click on the subscribe button and on the bell icon to get notifications about new videos. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoy it. Just one that's got that in it. So it's actually rusty on the back of the channel selector. But an option I do have is on these is develop that CB modification board using the Arduino and the radio encoder. So if I cannot recover these channel selectors, I could convert these using my Arduino board and changing the channel display and stuff like that. I could do all that on these units. Maybe. Might even just use it as a microcontroller project rather than the actual conversion board replacing the POL, because obviously this circuitry is a little bit different. Sideband radio a little bit trickier, but possible. I did develop it, so I could do it actually. But that's an option for this. So I could just replace that with radio encoder and put an Arduino in it, and then control the POL with that, and expand the channels right up. You know, I could just make something to do it to replace these, if I have to. But I'll try to frame them up first. We'll chuck some more through it. So I think all these are okay, weren't they? That switch is stuck. So we're only testing on A in today. That is seized. Yeah, that ain't turning. If I try and pull this knob off, it might actually pull the shaft out. I'm going to be a bit rough with this and shove a screwdriver down it. Don't like to do this, but sometimes you've got no choice. There we go. Okay. Stick some water in here. We'll see if it will free up eventually. Give it a chance to soak in. And we'll do the same thing with channel selector as well. This one's very stuck. That was really bad, this one. This one might break. That does not want to move. I'll get onto the actual shaft piece rather than on the actual end. A bit better. There we go. Yeah, it's all corroded on that shaft as well. Aluminium shaft all powdery. See that? That's why it's not happy. Oh, that's really. There we go. Right, it moves. Does it work though? That is not freeing up much at all. That is not doing very well. I doubt this channel selector is going to come back. You never know, might get lucky, but I doubt it, based on how stiff that is. Let's try the switch. Hey, that's moving, great. I think the switch has come back. Okay, the switch has come back. Rescue that one. As long as the contacts are okay. These switches, yeah, they're alright. I need to get some deoxit. I actually have any. Maybe I need to like hook it onto a drill and spin it. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I wonder if I should do that. What do you reckon? Should we give that a go? Put it back off again. Probably shouldn't have pushed it on so far. Right, I don't want to wear it out too much. I'll turn it by hand just then. Hey, that's much better. Are we wearing it in or wearing it out though? That's the question. And we'll get the knob back on. Try and get the knob back on. There you go. Right. Well, as you can see from the meter, it's got the silt in there. Right, so we've got the channel selector working. We've got that switch working. Let's see if it even powers up, shall we? I might be getting a bit ahead of myself there. There's corrosion over the place. Yeah, that's what it is really. That bit feels alright. But I might be surprised again, you never know. I might be pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was trying to rescue the radios when the flood happened. So I flushed them out with clean water to try and get all the salt, as much salt out as I could. Right, so RF gain, my gain up, clarifier, center, AM, all the switches out, power it up. Okay, we have a display. Bit dirty, but that's not exactly surprising. So the middle segment there. And that segment just there. That'll probably come right though. Put enough cleaner through there, should actually come right. So okay. But obviously that's only a display, you don't know what there's a pair of holes going to be seen because that's a separate section on the switch. So I don't actually know. Try my 40? No, OTX. So she's dead. Let's find out why. Be a VCO problem or some kind. Just clip on. Change the around so you can see what I'm doing. So there is a VCO signal there. Well, there's a frequency, but it's jumping around a bit. It might just be my probing, but it could be there's an issue going on. Oh, wind just blew the door shut. It's getting windy. So channel 1, you can amplitude change. It might just be because it's a bit dirty. It might be there's a bad switch contact which is causing the P-roll to rapidly change frequency. It's possible. You know, he's jumping around a lot with the chancellor wiggling. So I can't rely on that frequency there because it's not accurate. Let's get my frequency counter turned on. You can DC offset there on the phase detector. Oh, I clipped in the wrong place. No. Anyway. Do we have an IF? Doesn't look like it. I'm not seeing an IF there. So it could well be what's wrong. Where is it? Now we'll try and find it on the back of the board. That's always fun. Around here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Crystal's running. Oh, if crystal's working, so it's oscillating. Yeah. Oh, I'm so rusty on bloody radios, it's incredible. So I used to do probing with my old Tetronic scope, which I now don't have set up, and that used to have a frequency counter output on the back of it. Well, it was channel 2 output. So the crystal's running at the right frequency at least, 11.11. And try and remember that comes out now. You only took such a frequency counter. 34,130. Well, that's kind of right. So the VCO is actually correct. And 34,570. This switch is definitely playing up. Yeah, the switch is playing up. So it's not surprising. But still no transmitter. So the VCO is running. That's working. POL VCO is running. But there's no TX. It's not switching to TX. Which is interesting, means the lot detector is not running on the POL. Even though it seems to be correct. But it might just be because of the dirty switch contacts making it jump around. So the radio's switching. Like it's the TX-RX mode is trying to switch, but the TX indicator isn't coming on. So it's staying, it's either green or off. It should be going red for TX. There's no RF power coming out. What that usually means that lot detector on the POL isn't correctly. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use my software. I'm going to show you up here. Yeah, this thing here. So it's nearly 8719. I don't know which version it is, low or high pin. I can't remember which one it is. But that's the binary codes and stuff like that. So I want to find the database, which gives me the pin out. Maybe 8719. Here it is. So lot detector pin. It's pin 6, which should be high if it's okay. 2, 4, 6 is that pin there, and it is low. So that's why I don't have transmit. And it's staying low. the right pin, aren't I? 2, 4, 6. Yep, definitely on the right pin. Oops, got the mic. So a lot of detectors staying low all the time. That's freed up really nicely now. That's moving just nice. So yeah, using a drill certainly is the last resort. Yeah, that's just staying low. Even though the VCO is looking right. In fact, I'm not seeing any pins that high. That's weird. Hold on. VDD's pin 9. Even that's staying low. Is this not triggering? Ah, because I'm still plugged into my frequency counter. That's why I'm not seeing anything. Bloody hell. Okay, we'll try this again. Here we go. It is high. So a lot of detectors looking okay. You can see, maybe you can see on the over. There's times where it flicks downwards when it's changing channels, where it's adjusting its frequency. So that is a lot of detectors high, so that should be transmitting. No, this is going to take a bit more work, isn't it? Okay, let's look a bit further back. Do any frequencies down here. Where's that point I can probe? No, don't bother. Let's go straight on the other side of the board. It's easier. Let's see if we've got anything in the TX line, but I don't know. It might just be the LED's bad. Who knows? It might be two things wrong. I haven't cleaned this board yet either. I forget, it's still covered in crap. Over this side of the board. Watch out for the watch strap. Right, let's try. So we've got a DC voltage. No RF there at all. Same there, no RF. Yeah, there's no RF there. Check a bit further back, nothing there. Check the mixer. Nothing there. There's nothing coming out of the TX mixer. So there's the VCO input. Don't know what pin 8 is on this thing now. Try and figure it out as I go. Yeah, there's nothing coming out of the mixer. So it's getting to that point, but that's it, no further. So I don't think it's actually switching transmit. Give it a regulator. Let's try this. I don't want to pin out for this either now. That's just not switching. That's not switching. That's not switching. So the voltage regulator on the side here isn't being told to switch. Even though the RX light's going off. And again, I don't remember the bloody pinouts on this regulator. I thought it was that one was the TX. But I can't remember. It's been a while since I worked on one. VCO voltage. Walk back over. VCO frequency is changing, so I think it's probably going to be alright. What pin was that? Was it pin 5, was it? Yeah. Pin 5. So yeah, 3.7 volts roughly at that end of the band. 4.2 roughly that end of the band, so that's fine. It's well within the operating range. So VCO's looking okay, but no transmit. I think this regulator is not switching for some reason. I can't see it switching. I have to look at the circuit diagram for that because I don't remember. Wish I could. Don't know if I actually showed it to you properly or not. But so, although you probably know the stuff in your head anyway. So you choose P-rolls. This is the ones that got programmed into the software. Right, that's the range. Most of the older commons type stuff. And you can choose what channel, generic channel numbers. You know, so it tells you what the binary code should be for that channel. Tells you the VCO frequency and stuff like that. And if you're thinking about modifications, you can change the offset frequency if you're changing your lip crystal, for example. Or you can put your own one in here as well. And also the channel frequency as well, final channel frequency. Simulator tells you the various blocks inside it as well. So you can see the internal IFs, VCO frequency, mixers, down mix frequency, and that sort of stuff. So this is all this. That's what I built it for. I think I'm pretty sure I sent you a serial number for this. I'm not sure. And there's the encode list for the whole unit. We'll drag it down and show the whole lot in one go. Right, that's all the encodes. And that's a fridge PLL. It's like a UPD, which I'm looking for. That one? One. Ah, 24. So yeah, I'll do. No, come on, sexes. What's this not working? There we go, that one here. Yeah. Remember these bloody things. So they do TX and RX comparisons as well, so it tells you what the transmit receive offset is. Does all that stuff. If you're interested. Other stuff it does. Channel frequencies, tells you generic frequencies, just a nice simple thing off the top of your head. You know, you've got the UK channels in there and just generic stuff, just a little thing. Not particularly interesting. And then encode converter. So you want to do conversions between decimal, hex and binary, you can do that as well. Yeah, easy. So, regulator. IC4. There it is right there. So this should be switching, but it doesn't appear to be. So you've got the RX LED here, RX TX LEDs come straight from the regulator. So pin 6, is that 6? I think it's 6, is RX, and pin 8 is TX. Right. And I believe pin 2 is the switching. That app is on snmsoftware.com. I'll chuck a link. So that's my software site, although I don't do that much software these days. So I need to just double check on pin 6 and 8. So why would the RX light be going off if it's not switching off? I'm missing something there? Ah, you dumb bastard. It's in PA. It's in PA. I normally check all the switches and I didn't check that one. You dumb prick. Okay. Right. It's now switching. There you go. There's the switching. Well, I'll change view so you can see what I'm talking about. I should have known better than that. Jesus. Okay. I think, it deserves one of these. Oh, there you go. Right, then carry on. So, pin 6 on RX, you can see it's high, it goes low, you got to transmit. And pin 8 is low, and it goes high, you transmit. So yes, I was remembering that correctly, and that's doing about 3 watts. So it's actually bloody working. It's off frequency, but it's doing it. It's jumping around because that bloody switch. Yeah, that one's on frequency. It's sitting bang on that one there. So that's channel 3, and that's working okay. But obviously, our switching is cleaning up. So, okay, so this one's actually working. Damn it, a bloody PA switch. I thought I checked that. Not the first time. Certainly won't be the last. I heard a guy once. Oh, I've only more than once actually. I've given the radio back to someone after I worked on it, and they got it back and they said, "Oh, it doesn't bloody work." And they brought it back, and it's been in PA mode. It's so common. I can't believe I stuffed it up myself. So it is transmitting. So yeah, it's doing about 2.5 watts there on that channel, channel 40, and the other end of the band is slightly higher. So it is actually working. And the frequency counter is up here, which you can just see. So yes, it works too. Bloody PA mode. What a dumb bastard. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Shh, don't tell Mike. I think Mike might have noticed. I might have transmitted the other radio. If I can get some work on channel 1, I'll be alright. Come on, get on channel 1. No, it's not channel 1. It's still not channel 1. Nope. No. It's struggling to get channel 1, the switch is being a real pain. Oh, channel 2 is close enough. 1, 2. So it has audio as well. 1, 2, 1, 2. And it is receiving. 1, 2. Yep, you can hear me fine. So it looks like this is just channel selector and a really good bloody cleanup, and signal meter, because that's obviously stuffed as well. Let's strip all that down and get that crap out of there. I can't even see it. It may not be stuck, I just can't see it. No, the needle's definitely not moving. Yeah, that gunk's actually inside the meter. I think. Some of it is. Yeah, it's a bit inside it. So, another one, looks like I just need to give it a really good clean up. Power's a bit low, but yeah, that's okay, I suppose. Try sideband. 1, 2. Yeah, it's down a little bit as well, but it's working. So this can be recovered too. So again, the signal meter. I'm actually really surprised. The digits are better. Before I had that problem with the digits playing up, it's not doing that now. Or was that the other radio? I can't remember. I think it was this one. That's not doing it now, so it is getting better. So I definitely need to give that switch some more cleaning and go from there. But it's not looking bad. I do have some brand new signal meters and stuff like that, so if I can't resurrect the signal meter, I can replace it. I'm not sure if I've got exactly the right one for this particular radio though. It might have a different scale on it. So if we're going to look at this, look at the PA switch. It's up there. So our switch is the speaker, obviously. That's that aspect of it. So that's switching the audio amplifier section. What's the other part of it? Oh, there it is there. Right, so that's the other thing, so that switches the actual pin as well. Not really. So it switches pin 5 at the same time. Pretty sure pin 5 is TX pin. So therefore it disables the TX. Just get these knobs off before I start loosening it off. Just worried about damaging the front panel trying to get these knobs off, because they're all going to be a bit rusty. Oh, that's not feeling good. Oh, that one's either. What's likely to happen, what's most likely thing to happen, is the shaft will rip out of the pots when they're like that. I don't want to break the bloody pots trying to get the shafts out. Oh, that's not sounding good. I'm really worried about that. Oh, that one's starting to go. Which bit's going? Is it the knob or is it the shaft? It's the shaft. See? That's what I was worried about happening. So yeah, all these knobs are going to need replacing because I'm going to have to get them off to clean the front panel up. That's annoying. Yeah, because it's just an aluminium shaft with a pressed end, so when you're pulling on it, all it does is it just forces that pressed end back through, and usually what it does, it breaks the wafer inside the pot as well. So all these pots need replacing. That's also a rather tedious thing because I don't have that many of them, especially when we've got these volume pots with the switches on them and the dual gain pots, things like that. So yeah, that's a real pain. Yeah, I'm probably going to destroy them or get them off because of the corrosion on the shaft. It's just locked it onto the knobs. Yeah, it causes more damage in order to fix it. Maybe I'll try and get some oil sprayed down the shaft, see if I can avoid damaging any more. Try and get some down there. It's going to be messy though. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there, but spray it from the back and hope for the best. Maybe it will help to free them up a little bit and get them to come out. But yeah, that's what I was worried about happening, is destroying the things in the process. I might just have to rely on trying to get it to run down. It's going to be messy. Because then I've still got to get the shaft out of here afterwards, you know. There's one time I actually managed to repair a shaft. It pulled off. I was actually able to, I filed it back down again, get it small enough to get it back in, and then flatten it back out. So you can, sometimes if you're really careful and really lucky, you can actually recover them. But it's rare. I've only had, I think, 1 or 2 times I've actually been successful doing that. Usually it says you just replace the pot. So this is a radio I've been playing around with trying to get sorted out. I can't remember if I recorded this bit or not. Maybe, it might be in a different radio, but if not, then I've started ahead. It's the Unit and Grant. This one's in really good condition, at least it was. This radio was in the flood, which was a year ago. And the issue I've got is that, well, it's a mess because of the flood. Now, the only thing was, this radio was in perfect condition, you know, very close to it. And it's powered up, it does actually work, but things like the signal meter are absolutely stuffed. Like, it's just, that's the meter itself. I've given it a wipe and it's not got any better. I think the plastic itself has actually failed, which is really weird. Could be inside it as well, but it looks like the outside is also like chalky just there, and it's kind of scraping off, but that's about it. So the meter movement seems to be stuffed. You might also notice there's a few knobs missing. Now, because of the corrosion, these are aluminium shafts, and they have corroded and basically got stuck inside the knobs. So when you try and pull the knobs off, it rips the whole shaft out. Sometimes you can fix this, not always. It depends on what damage is done inside the actual pots as well. Because you can actually get these pots apart if you're really careful. But what can happen, because this is, I'll probably demonstrate shortly, but on this end here where the flats are, there's like a little wafer. I'll try to get a bit closer so you can see a bit better. Alright. There's a wafer which goes along the end of that, which is actually the wiper for the pot, okay? Now that is basically wedged in place, so it's like that part there has actually been pressed and wedged outwards. It's got a little dimple on the centre, and you can see it. Well, it's been pressed in to wedge it so that locks onto the shaft, onto the wafer. Now the problem is that sort of holds these things in. And what can happen is when you get a knob which is stuck on, like I've got here, I've had 3 of them, because of the corrosion, it's basically rusted into the, well, corroded into the inside of the knobs. It's putting all that force on it, it can actually split the wafer and break the wafer apart, and then the shaft falls out. Sometimes the shaft will just pull through the wafer and you can still recover it. If you're really careful, we can put it in there and try and splay this out more, maybe put a bit of adhesive on it as well. Depends on how bad it is. I don't know until I open these up and see if I can repair these or not, otherwise I'm going to have to replace the pots. So I've got 2, what's that? That's a 20k part, I can't see what that one is. And one of them is the volume, which is the one I'm mainly worried about, the volume on off switch, because those are harder to get. So I'm going to grab a spanner, I'm going to take that off and we'll pull that apart and have a look inside it and see what it looks like. Actually I might use this. It's not going to get tight. Hopefully. It's probably going to prove me wrong now, isn't it? I should go and get a spanner. They're on the other side of the room, but it's not that tight. So, oh, it's actually a bit, because of the corrosion on the shaft as well, it's also not great. Maybe I should have got a spanner. I need a spanner. Because of the corrosion around the threads, it's actually making it really stiff to turn. Usually you can spin them off once they're loose, but that's not the case right now because of this being in flood water. Salt water at that. That's the problem, is that it's been in salt water. And if it's just been clean water, you know, or rain water, it would have been so bad, but salt water is pretty serious to get things wet in. Usually it's a case of once it's been in salt water, that's the end of it. Alright, so there's the pot. So make a note of the wiring on that in case I ever need to reference that. So you've got the ground shield on that side, white and red. Okay, white is the wiper. And you've got the orange furthest away, red in there. Right, that doesn't really matter so much, this is a switch anyway. So I've got to get this thing apart. Now it's in 2 sections, so it's actually got 2 clamps which hold it together. So I'm going to take the rear section off first, that will remove the spring switch part. Well, that can be a problem. But that's the bit I need to get to, I think. Now this knob here is from this switch. Right. This is all chewed up as well from trying to get the thing apart. So I need to polish all that. If I can fix it, I need to polish all that up as well, in order to get that all nice again. At the moment it's not really wanting to cooperate at all, but that's not unexpected. I need to get a little bit of sandpaper or something on there, just to, or file, probably a file, and to give that a clean up. Actually I've got a file here somewhere. Where is it? There you go, use this. This is a diamond stone, so once I get the thing back in, if I can get it back in place, I can refix it basically. But we'll see how we go. I probably do need to get a file, proper one, not just a polishing stone like this. Because I need to actually squash that flatter so I can push it back out as well. But first things first, we'll get it in there. Yep, it's going in there now. Will that line back up? No, because it's splayed out. So That's not going to go in. Now I've got to pull this apart. It's a bit hard to work on it in the radio, so I think I'm going to take it out. Are they wrapped around? Hopefully not. Hopefully just push through. Otherwise it's going to be a bit of a pain to work on. We'll just take it off and I can then work on it a bit easier by hand. It's just too awkward like this. So red, white, shield, then red and orange on the back there. Okay, just a bit easier to work on like this. Let's move the radio out of the way. My desk is a bit messy right now. Probably trying to recover something which has been flood damaged anyway. You've got these little fingers over here which wrap around the end. You've got to be careful not to cut them off. You've just got to grab hold underneath it and try and lever it up. Just gently do it. Don't try and cut them off. If you cut them off, you screw it. Notice it's starting to lift. Let's go to the next one. Again, you have to have something quite pointy to get underneath them. So I use colours for that generally. Once it starts to go, then I change to something else which isn't going to cut them off by mistake. Now sometimes these can fall apart and there's a little spring in there which go flying off, so you have to be really careful about these. These switch mechanisms. Because it is a sprung mechanism inside it. Okay, and there it is. Now, has it broken? It doesn't look like it. It looks like it might be okay. Now this is a bit corroded and dirty in there, but kind of expected that. Let's clean this up as well, get this piece off. I'll stick with the colour of this one, actually it's a bit easier. Right. So there's the top one. Housing. There is the actual mechanism there, which has now got oil over it, so I'll clean that off because it affects the carbon. And there's the wiper and everything there, so it's got some crap in there too. But that's okay. That's all fairly easy. And that's what the shaft goes onto. So what I've actually got to do is I've got to put the shaft through here. So I'll get all that cleaned up nicely so it sits in there nicely, it doesn't catch. It's not too far off actually. I'll get a clean up by hand. And then it's basically reassemble from that side and then put this bit back on the back of it and line it all up. So it's not that hard to do. It's actually not too bad like that. I might have to scrape it with a knife blade. Just can't quite get into this corner here. It's the only problem with trying to force these things apart. And I need to get some IPA because I've got to get this oil off this stuff. Most important thing is this mechanism here. You don't want to get oil on these. That needs to come off. It's not good for the contact. Fortunately, you can't avoid it sometimes. I was trying to avoid breaking the knobs off. Clean the oil out again, you can flush it later, that's fine. But trying to get the knobs off, trying to get, you know, that's the tricky bit there. So is that okay now? That's not bad. It's still catching slightly. So the trick about that is that's supposed to go through that slot there, right? And I don't know if you can see this, probably not a focus on it, is it? Focus. It's supposed to focus, anyway. So that's got to go through there, but because it's already impressed, it's bigger than the hole, and it's actually stretched the hole as it's come out. Now I've been lucky here, it hasn't broken it. Usually if it's a bit fragile, it'll actually split that and break it, and then that's pretty much it. It's nylon, so you can't glue it. So if I can actually file this down a bit, or maybe squash it flat, I might be able to get it back in there. If I can get it back through, then I can then open it back up again. And we'll see how we go. But let's just try and... actually, I've got my little pliers here. See if I can squash it back down again. Because if I can get it flat, get it back down to the right size, I can get it back in there. But so these have been punched, so it may not be easy. Let's get in there. Oh, too much. Not good. That piece broke off. Might still be able to recover it, but it's not looking so good now. Okay, that will go through. Yes, it will. Right, so this might be like a one-way trip, right? So once this goes back together, if it ever gets pulled apart again, that knob is going to rip that shaft out again, because there's nothing really to retain it. Okay, it's really, really fragile. So it's only barely going to manage it, I think. I might be able to glue it or something. I'm not sure about what's going to glue aluminium and nylon. I'll have to sort of look at that. So, first you have the shaft. Then we have the wiper assembly, which goes in there a certain way around, like that. Still want to try and get more of this oil out of here. Be careful not to damage those fingers at the same time. Okay, so that's that part. Then we're supposed to have this piece on there. Like that. If that's not also pushed down far enough, it will have problems with touching on that circuit properly. Oh, the whole thing's just spun, that's not what I want. Come on, cooperate with you. So see, that's how it wipes. Right, so it just wipes on there like that. So that's in position, that's the off position there, and that's on position there. Right, so this needs to be, that has got a split in it. I couldn't see it before. It has split. I can get this camera to see it. So it's split, it's like dead vertical at that position there, on the top of the shaft. Now we'll see, I could try welding it back together with a soldering iron. That might work. But yeah, it's not looking great. But I'll do my best to try and recover this thing, because these are not easy to replace. So that's wiping nicely on there. Both contacts are wiping nicely. So it's definitely down far enough. I might have to just weld that with soldering iron. Let's degrease it a little bit first. Well, being nylon, you can melt it. Let's see if I can melt it together and reinforce it enough to make it not break. It's not great. Like I said, I think this is going to be a one-way trip. This is never going to come apart again, at least not successfully. Nah, I don't risk it. Okay, well, I think that is what it is. Now the switch mechanism is all rusted as well. Well, it's a little bit of corrosion, it's not that bad. The spring looks okay ish. The thing with these, remember, bloody things go back together. Oh dear. Right, so I think that goes in between the two like this, sits in there. Then you've got the shaft and the spring, which goes kind of on there or something. Yeah, it's all needs to go clean up first, so we'll give it a go. Being copper, actually, it might prefer a little bit of white vinegar, so that removes copper corrosion quite nicely. That doesn't matter anyway, it's not used. The important terminal was actually not looking too bad. On this thing. It's not looking too bad. I really hope this is actually all going to go together properly and behave, because the spring could still break it. So I'm really hoping that this will work. I've done this a few times in other pots, It's like the first time I've ever done this, but it's always a bit flaky about, is it going to work? Ideally you just replace the pot. I haven't got one. So I don't really have much choice in this particular matter. No, in this instance I want to try and recover it. If really, should be doing this, if you can, put a new pot in. If that's something you can actually do, then do it. But in my case right now, it's not possible. Come on, get down. Okay, that's the front section on, and hopefully, alright, now I've got to do the back section. This bit, which is a bit tricky. Because you've got to try and put it in there and hopefully get it right. And get it aligned and not have it fall apart. No, that's wrong. It fell apart, of course. Let's try again this side. Well, I'm not sure which side it's supposed to go on, so we'll first find out. Let's put it in the well on position. It should just flick around and catch it when it goes off. That's the on position, and that's on. Gotcha. Right, I'm going to stop recording this because it's about to stop anyway. Then I'll clamp it together. Okay, it's back together and hopefully working alright. I really hope so. What I'm going to do is check the resistance across here and see if it seems to check out alright or not. Because it could still be that it's no good. It's entirely possible. Shove it through there. So 10k goes up to. Or 9k. It's a 10k pot, so yeah. Seems to be working. So it's like I've recovered that one. Excellent. But, like I said, it's only a one-time thing. I can never pull that knob back off again without ripping the thing apart. And the second time around it probably won't survive. So let's put this back together before I forget how to do it. 1, 2 to go. Now because these are less special pots, I mean because these are more standard, that's a 20k, I can't see what that one is. I'm actually less worried about getting these ones out and replaced, because the volume on off switch ones, you know, that's quite an important one, because you know you have to turn the thing on and off and they're not easy pots to get. Whereas these are more standardized, but again the shaft length and the shaft type is the problem here, trying to get suitable ones. Really should just go and get the right spanner, shouldn't I? So this one here, that is a 1k. That's a 1k pot, 20k pot. Let's see what I've got. See if I've got a new one. I've got a new one in, rather than trying to repair these ones. Alright, so the only thing I've got here is a 5k, smallest value I've got. I don't have a 1k. Similar size, but the shaft is different. It's got a shorter shaft on it, which means it may not reach the knob. So I need to get the shaft out of one of these, whichever one it was. It should be probably the same things anyway, really. But now this one here, that 20k there, that's probably a centre off type. Now I've got a 20k centre off type here. Alright, so that's because that's the clarifier. So I've got a decent one to put in there if I need to. I would kind of like to repair them, but usually you can't really repair them very well, not reliably, not where you can take the knobs on and off. So we got this one here, which is it's only a 1k, but I'm worried about the shaft length on this, because I'm not sure that's going to be long enough. I could mount it in the chassis and have a look and put the front panel on, see if it looks like it's going to be alright or not. I'm sceptical. I'm not sure it's going to manage it. So let's shove that in the chassis. And we'll just have a quick look at it. I mean, it's not that much shorter. You can see from that distance there. I hope you can see. Alright. There's a difference in length there, probably 5mm or so. So let's just slide this over and see if it looks like it's actually going to go on or not. So it has a fair bit sticking at the front. Yeah, there's enough there. There's enough for that. That'll work, great. But it's only 5k, not 1k. Is it going to matter? Nah, what is it? RF Gain? Nah, probably not. Probably isn't going to affect it. So I'll just change it. I need to get some 1k pots. But this will do for now. If I have to, a little trick you can do is you can get a resistor and put it across the pot. Alright? Which is great if it's at one end or the other. It will give you the correct resistances. Kind of. But if you're going halfway, then it's going to be wrong. So you actually end up with dipping, the response is wrong. So I did use the right one. Yeah, hand's getting all oily now. So I need to do before I forget is flush this one out. So because I had oil all through all these. Try and get the oil out of them. This one survived. I said this one here, so I need to get the oil out. Oil was no good for the copper tracks, or for the phenolics even. So that's what I was trying to use to get the knobs off, unfortunately. Hoping it will clean up and nice, get it all out of there. That one there. So it's just easier to just replace them if you can, but like I said, sometimes you can't do that. And yes, I've been using lemon juice to try and get rid of some of the corrosion. Apparently it's supposed to work on aluminium. I don't know, I'm not convinced yet. It's gone darker, it's done something to it. I'll put some on this shaft here, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it helps, I don't know. But maybe I pulled it apart instead of the meter, because as you can see it's naked. And now I've got to replace the controls as well, which is a real pain, but oh well. So, 5k pot, which I've now lost. Oh, there. If I didn't think this radio was salvageable, I wouldn't be wasting my time on it, but I think it is going to be okay. So, green, blue, brown. Brown on the left. Right, that's that one done. But because of these centre off pots being being rare, I'm tempted to try and fix that other one. You know, I'd rather try and fix that than use this one if I can, but I've only got a couple of these. If I've got no choice, then I'll replace it, but I'd rather try and fix it if I can. We'll have a look inside and see where we go. If I had an unlimited stock of those 20Ks, then yep, I'd just chuck it in. But yeah, supply is a problem. Supply and demand. Yeah, sorts of things we do. Right, let's open this thing up. See what mess we greeted with. Okay. So that is split, obviously, and I think it's split two ways. Yeah, it is. That's completely broken, but might still be salvageable. There's gunk in there. Get rid of that. Same deal, try and get the oil out. This might not even be a centre off type. This one might not even have that feature on it. Looks like it doesn't. So I need to get the shaft out of one of these knobs now. Cool, it's moving. that one actually wasn't that bad. Got it that way. Right, it's that one. That was so close to actually coming off. It's incredible. Anyway, here's a shaft. Which needs to go through there, which I also now need to clean up. Yeah, I think that's going to be right. Should of course have grabbed the right knob. I might have grabbed the wrong one, I don't know yet. They look about the same, so yeah. So that goes like so. Again, I've got to do the same thing I did on the other one, but because it's already split, it might not be so critical. Just try and close it up a bit. It's a shame it has to go right through the whole assembly though, isn't it? Anyway. There's still quite a lot of distortion on that actually. It's still very open. Tedious work, isn't it? Very tedious. If I really have to, I'll replace it, but I'm trying to avoid that. Come on, get through there. It's really broken now. I'm going to dump this one. It's just too bad. Okay, if it had been a single split, I think I would have stood a chance, but I think it's just too bad. So let's just dump it. Bit of a shame. So, new 20k it is. I just hope the shaft's not too long. Oh no, it's the same. It's okay. It's just got a different profile, you see. Alright. Let's get this out of here. So, orange, blue, red from the back. Yeah, oh well. I was trying to save myself one of those pots. I need to try and get some. I just need to try and get some. Yeah, no shorts, that's all good. Right. So I just got to watch out for that volume pop. I should close it up to make it really weak so it only barely holds on. increase the chances of it being alright. Whilst I'm in here, I might as well make sure these are all tight. I do sometimes loosen off, like that one was, and that one. Because if they're loose, someone might have to take the front panel off to tighten them up, and then it'll break it. And that person might be me. So I need to get this bloody meter out as well yet. So here's a bloody corrosion there. Tedious, but I mean, if this is somebody else's radio, this would have been a write-off, right? Because the amount of time involved to restore it and get it working again, that's sort of ouch. A bit excessive. No, it's just too time-consuming, too much work. Unless they wanted to pay, of course, you know. But then you want to be realistic about how much things are going to be worth. Don't want to spending a lot of money restoring a radio which isn't worth that much money. So. Yeah, anyway. So hopefully that knob doesn't fall apart. It's not particularly great in there. I hit it with a soldering iron, but it's basically just pressed in. It's not going to do all that well. So let's get this meter out and look at that next, which is what I want to get the front panel off for. Taking it long just to get to this point. So I don't know if we can even recover that meter. I really don't know. And I kind of need to clear some space here too. I always like to try and restore things if I can. You know, I don't like to throw things out unless it's absolutely necessary. But this meter's probably too far gone. So there's the bracket there. And the meter should come with it. There we go. So try and take the bracket out of the way. Try to, it's a bit stuck. Right. There's a bulb which may or may not work. I didn't notice it lighting up, so it's probably stuffed. And here's the meter. Now let's get this cover off the front. Got tape on it. Yes, there's the tape there. I really think this is going to be no good. Right. So there's the meter movement. It is a little tight. And there's a little bit of crap in here, but it's actually not looking that bad. Oh, is that rusted there? Hold on. Nah, the pivot point's gone. Nah, that's it. That meter's gone. Okay. But we can risk it. Let's go. That's an important thing to risk it, because you might get a meter which has got a different scale on it. Right. So that meter's had it. So black is that side. You see all this crap down here too. Just everywhere. It's just silt, you know, it's just basically mud, really. So it does clean up. Let's get another meter. Okay, so it's a salvaged meter. This is from another radio, obviously. It looks like it's pretty much the same type. It's got the same connections there, plus and minus on there, so it should be the same one. Now I want to check out this bulb and see what's going on with that. Just plug this in the power. See if that bulb is actually working or not. Before I put it back in, I didn't notice if it was working. Just give it that. So yes, the bulb is working. It's not very bright though. Don't see it on camera or not, but yeah, it is going. So I'll shove that back in. That's all right. All back in, remount it. So I saved that scale from the other meter, so if I ever need to do that I can. Let's just try and wiggle this back around here again. So keeping the scales is a good thing to do, because if you need to use a substitute meter of some kind, which is almost the right one but not quite, you can at least put the right scale in it. I'll tighten those right up here because I need to align it with the front panel screws as well. Yeah. Okay, with that I should be able to do a little test on it to make sure it actually functions. Let's move this crap out of the way. I see it moving on the transmit. That's all good. Power. Yeah. Microphone. Okay, power on. Right. And it moves. Excellent. So that is working. That's doing what it's supposed to do. And the power is a bit low, so it's actually reading slightly lower than it actually is doing, but yeah, it's only slightly off. Some problems with channel 1 being the wrong frequency. Only channel 1. So I was going through the range just checking it. Oh. No, that's okay. Just stumbled a little bit there. So it kind of wants to do it, but it's jumping to 650 instead of 330. There you go, it's on 330 now. Just a little bit dirty on that switch. So yeah, still got a problem with that switch, but it's gradually getting better. So fingers crossed I don't have to do anything with that. Right, so, and the power output's come up now to 3 watts. Originally when I first started it was only about 1.5 watts. So now it's about 3 watts now, 3.5. So it's gradually getting better. It's been improving. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop recording for now. I'm going to clean this board up. Okay, as you can see I've got the front panel back together again, the knobs back on, so I've replaced the clarifier, RF gain, and repaired the volume on off switch. So all the knobs are actually hard to get back on again, all quite stiff. And you can see I've cleaned the PCB, it all looks all nice now, and I've done the top side as well. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I've done some testing on it, it seems to be working just fine. Transmit, receive are within spec, on frequency. Looks like I don't have to do any alignment work on it. The sensitivity looks good. It all seems absolutely fine. So at this point in time it all looks like it's got no issues whatsoever. It seems to have just been purely these knobs getting stuck on that signal meter there, and yeah, it looks like it's been surprisingly good. Also a little bit of, surface corrosion on the aluminium around here, but the rest of the board looks absolutely fine. I've now got the grime off the board here, cleaned all that off. It all looks normal. There's no signs of actual corrosion on the circuit boards or anything like that, and the component leads. It all looks fine. So I'm happy with it. I've cleaned all the back of the channel selector there and everything like that. And so obviously new signal meter, which is all working just fine. So I think I can button this back up again, put some new screws in it and that sort of stuff, and call this one done. So that's a good fix, that one. But yeah, it's a shame I basically lost signal meter and these, and yeah, it happens. That's just the way it is. No big deal. Thanks for watching.